Hey, everybody. It is so great to see you. I'm getting more and more excited as time goes on. We are, at this point, under a month from the EP Mixer DC happening on June 8th, Saturday, June 8th, from 3 p.m. to 6 p.m. We went with the afternoon shift. Going to give that a whirl, see how that goes. And we're going to be at Highline RxR in Arlington, Virginia. I know we're calling it DC, off my back. But that's people know DC, and I don't want people from Arlington, Texas going, well, we don't have that here. Anyway, so today, I'm very excited. We are with one of our fantastic sponsors and representing Concentric today. We have Jeff Grabman, and he's going to talk to us a little bit about Concentric, what they do, where they are, and why they're part of this, the whole thing. Jeff, thank you so much for taking the time.
It's great to be here, Craig. Thank you.
Yeah, and I think we tried this a couple times, and it's always like I think I got busy, then you got busy, then you got sent out, so again, I'm grateful that you're here. So we'll go ahead and get right into it. Let's talk a little bit about Concentric, but just talk about you too. Listen, like to hear your story a little bit, whatever you're willing to share about Concentric, where as much as you can tell us about where you're located, where you do business, things like that.
Okay, great. Yeah, so I'm fairly new to Concentric. I've been here for 6 months. Prior to that, I was an agent with U.S. Justice Department with ATF for almost 34 years. The last end of that, for the last 3.5 of that, I ran our ATF Director Security Detail, where we were regularly, with the Attorney General, the heads of other agencies, traveling across the world. Also had time with the experience with doing protection work with the Secret Service. We were the partner agency for them when we were in the Treasury, so we were on jump teams, UNGA, different things like that. So it's a great experience. It sort of led me into, getting in with Concentric. Concentric is just a great company. I can speak for it, from being here just 6 months, I'm excited. It's a great company. They are in so many different venues. I mean, we have a global footprint. So we basically can go anywhere in the world, whether it's a high threat environment or whether it's, a family office. We do all types of things. We're risk assessments. We do intelligence work, of course, the EP world. We're in corporations, family offices, nonprofits. We do have a maritime division for ships. So we really have a whole thing. We sort of feel, at Concentric, it's unique because we're not a cookie cutter type, of protection or corporation. Every security solution is unique. So we work with the client to try and build the solution that's going to make their personal lives and their work environments the least bit affected by having security.
Right. Well, and it's okay. So you end with that, right? You got all these great things, that you do. But then the identification of a lot of times the clients, it's not so much that they don't like you, they just don't like security. And not that they don't like security, they just don't like how it infringes on their space, on their privacy, and all that, which funny enough is that part of the job is that you're trying to protect all that, and sometimes, but they just need it. And so I think that's, but then also too, offering all the things that you offer, it's like, fitting that in, then you're there all the time. It's like, well, if we go we're taking the yacht out, they're not coming with, no, we're coming with you. If we're going to we'll be there too. It's everywhere. So you really have to pay attention to that. I'd expect.
Yeah. We really have a white glove approach. We won't want to affect people's lives. We want to be as low profile as we can. We want to fit in with their organizations. And, we're really also, just very big on logistics support. Anybody in the EP world knows that that's a lot of what you end up doing. You want to make their trip or whatever they're going to as seamless as possible so they can actually enjoy that and not have to worry about anything else.
Right. Yeah. I've had a couple conversations over the years and kind of more recently too, of, being enablers, right? Just making it just like you said, logistics and making it seamless. And a lot of times, sometimes that comes with, the backstage drops and there's nobody around, and you're getting out, like President Reagan talked about. He's like, if I didn't get out and smelled a dumpster, I thought I'd be in the wrong place, or however he put that. But it was like, that's all part of it. Like it's like the cool stuff, but that's also, there's nobody between your client and hopefully between your client and where they're going, and it just makes it go quicker. So that's cool. And also too, talk about going to high threat environments. Looking at your background, your CEO was with the State Department, and cops, and one of the team that I can't remember who it was I was talking to, but did some work with Constellus, overseas with the State Department program. So that's an interesting part of it, that not that I guess that you just don't hear about it that much in what you would consider executive protection, as opposed to PSD, your more military type or style of protection. So I think that's pretty cool too.
Yeah, our president was with, the government, our CEO of our company, three-star admiral in the Navy. So the leadership of this company is just absolutely amazing. They really have, a lot of vision of what they want to do. We also have the 188 Foundation, which is a philanthropic part that, they were involved in getting the last people out of Afghanistan.
Wow.
That's where it came from. They thought they were going to get 188 people out on the last flight, and they ended up with over 200.
Wow.
So there's a lot of different things that we're involved in and do. Another unique thing we do that people don't know, we also do precious art transfers. So if
Okay.
a client has a very, very high value piece of art, we'll negotiate and make that transfer for wherever it's going to go, safety and
Wow.
securely.
Yeah, that's cool. That's interesting and different too. Like you
Yeah.
say, not that you don't necessarily think about it, because you think about some transportation issues and whatnot, but specifically art, high valued art, like that's a whole, and that's a whole other thing too, right? So that's cool. Now, so with all these things that you're doing, or all that you're capable of doing, what is it in 2024, this year, this month, in the next 18 months, whatever? What are you most excited about that you have coming up?
I think it's really the growth of the company. We are continuing to grow. We've recently bought a couple of other companies to expand our ability to perform services. So the company is growing, and I think it's going to open up so many doors to different clients, and the ability to say, hey, we can bring this to you. There's no slowing down. It just keeps going and going and going.
Yeah, that's always exciting. Anytime you see growth, and the founders love it. The leadership loves it, and anybody who's looking to come into that's looking for work, it's great. It's great when companies are growing, because that just means more and more stuff is coming available, and then people get promoted, and then they backfill, and they're one big company growing means something in an industry that's probably bigger than most think, but still relatively small in comparison to the security industry as a whole. But in EP, there's so much of that goes into it as well. There's so many different aspects that you're also thinking of too, even though it's not necessarily your bread and butter. But protection of your principal certainly is, and what goes into it.
Right. And the key really is to be able to grow, but also still maintain that small company touch, to where you're custom building solutions to every problem, and really making sure you keep that relationship with the client.
Yeah, and that's, boy, that can be a high wire act, can it? Like you're threading the needle as it's moving, right? So, and if you can, like, hats off to you, and that's great. And clearly, you guys have been able to maintain, to establish that and maintain it. And so, like, hats off to you guys for being able to handle that task over and over. So, now with the cool stuff, the things that are coming up, what is it that made you decide to be part of this mixer? You decided that EP Mixer DC would be a good fit for you. What brought you to that?
Well, it's a perfect fit because I live in DC.
Right.
So I'm right here.
Yeah.
And it's a great networking opportunity. I mean, you get to sit and talk with people in a casual environment, that do the same job as you. some are looking, maybe some are looking for employment, maybe others, are just there to talk and share, because by doing this, you sit down and you start talking to somebody, you're like, wow, I never thought of doing it that way.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm excited about it. I think it's a great opportunity to actually just be with people doing like work and, swap stories and,
Yep.
just make some new friends.
Yeah, well, for sure. And that's one of the things when it comes to the demographic that's there, because we track business owners, security business owners, um, people looking for work, and then we kind of have like other, right? Then that, and it feels like it's about a third, and a third, really. Excuse me. And so that's really for the people that are looking for work, knowing that there are companies there, they may, and it's again, it's networking, right? So the opportunity may not be right there right then, but you get a chance to be with the people that like, if they own the company, like, they are potentially the ultimate decision maker, right? Or if they lead a team, or they're a program manager for a really nice company, right? You get direct access to them. And then also too, on the flip side, somebody who owns, manages, runs a company, you get to see people in their I don't want to say natural environment, but the fact that they are, they're there, how do they behave, right? What kind of, there's nothing, I don't think that there's anything better than a face-to-face interaction, especially if one, you want to be hired by somebody because you want to know what the company's about too. And it's like you see stills and you see pictures and you see a website of this person or this company, and then you get to talk to them and it's like, okay, it matches or it doesn't. And then the same way on the other side is that, hey, this guy seems pretty squared away, this gal seems pretty squared away, she's on LinkedIn, she's on Instagram, but then or he's on Facebook, but then you talk to him, you're like, oh, that was a charade. And it doesn't always go like that, right? But it's like you had the opportunity right then and there.
Right. Well, we have a great team at Concentric, and you want to bring people onto that team. They're going to mesh, and work together well. And so, it does the ability to face to sit down and talk to somebody is you can't beat it. I mean, it really is going to be the judging point of saying, yeah, I'd like to bring this guy on. And Concentric has, like I said, a global footprint. We have 6 offices across the world, from Dublin to Singapore to all over the US. And so, we're always looking to fill spots. We're always looking to bring people on. Like I said, it may not be something that we have a need for right now, but 6 months from now, hey, I know I just met Craig and I know Craig has an expertise here. I'm calling him.
Yeah. Yeah. It's exactly that way. And I can't remember who I was talking to just recently. And I think it was on this, in this forum right here in this format. But they were talking about. Oh yeah, I'm sorry. It was Devin Tellis from Tellis Worldwide. He's one of the sponsors as well, and that was one of the things. It's like, if reach out to me, like, feel free, reach out to me, and maybe I don't have the spot for you now, but in 2 weeks things change, as like all of a sudden we need more of this, and we need it here, and I met a person from there, and I'm going to reach out to them. And I talk about and when I talk about networking, which is a lot, it's not constant, but it's consistent. So I know that I can email Jeff at Concentric once. I'll hit him up every month. And I'm not necessarily asking him for a job, but just, hey, here's my availability, and I saw this article. Here you go. Or just whatever it is, if you have that type of relationship, so it's a consistent overtime thing. That if nothing else, at the top of my, or hey, I got a new state certification. Hey, I have a new, whatever it is, whatever certificate they got, whatever class they completed, something like that. Then also you see that they are serious about doing the work, and how what they're doing is going to bring value to your team, to your company. And so I think that's one of the many things that comes out of an event like this. And it's a shameless plug for the event myself. Yeah.
Yeah, I couldn't agree. And it works both ways. It may be that you are looking, I have somebody, and I know you're looking for somebody.
Right.
And I throw you a reference. Hey, I know this great guy. We don't have work for him right now, but he'd be perfect for you.
Right. And when people are willing to do that, like, that's the Man, that's the stuff I love. Like I just, hey, they couldn't use me, but they made an introduction, and that's my goal too, right? I want to bring people together, and however they start to fit together, that's the goal. So, I know we're coming up on time here, and I appreciate you for having this long conversation. It was great, but where can people, or where should people go to learn more about Concentric?
You can just look up concentric.io
Okay.
and it'll take you straight to our site and tell you everything about it. I'll be at the mixer. I'm looking forward to it. I'll have cards there to hand out to people as well. So we'll make those connections and keep it going.
Great. Well, again, Jeff, I thought I lost you there for a second. That's why you're going to see, like, I stopped for a second, everybody. So that was an interesting thing there. Anyway, Jeff, again, thank you for being here. Appreciate your time, everybody. Please, if you have not registered, get to epmixer.com. Get yourself registered. If you're bringing some, and I get these questions, can I bring people? Yeah, bring people. Bring as many as you want, as many as you can. If you wouldn't mind, ask them to register separately, or you register them separately. They don't want to be on the email list. That's fine. Put yours in, because I'm going to get you anyway. But remember, again, Saturday, June 8th, Highline RxR in Arlington, Virginia, 3 p.m. to 6 p.m. We can't wait to see you. That's all I got. I hope you have a great one, and I'll talk to you real soon.